It's true! Vagina dentata!
Will you be considered a hero or get your dick bitten off? This is spoilers.
No? That works.
I like how there was no break in there. Just read that thing straight through.
That one was helped out by my wife because she added the hero thing, and I thought, I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'd forgotten about that. But yeah, so if you don't know what movie that is, then you probably haven't seen it. But we are doing for our second spooky spoilers movie.
Ooh, number 2.
The 2007 cult classic, Teeth. Hey, who had seen this movie before? Mikey, just you?
I've definitely seen it before. I don't know if anybody else has.
Never even heard of it.
I saw it on, it used to be on Netflix or something like that. I'd see it. Anybody else seen it? Stevie?
Just a poster.
That wasn't like a date movie for you and the missus?
No, that doesn't fall in with like The Grey or the other comfort films that we like.
Add it to the list of comfort films.
No.
I have a new type of thing we're going to do for the opening question. So let's go ahead and start. Introduce yourself, and we're going to go east to west. And then you're going to give me a number between 1 and 4. I think, Mikey, you're first. Each time on that number will be eliminated. And we'll just go like 1 to 3, 1 to 2. So, Mikey, go ahead and tell us where you're recording from. I believe you're westist, right? Oh, wait, I said east to west. Oh, man.
So it's me?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Pappy.
Pappy, recording from Kalamazoo. I'll go with number 1.
Number 1, okay. So I have 2 cards for each thing, and they are from, what the heck is that stupid company called? They're everywhere. Barstool, Answer the Internet. I don't know if you guys have seen those videos, but I didn't pick any crazy ones, so don't like freak out or anything like that, but I would like you to answer both questions, if you would.
Okay.
You picked number 1, so you have, I kind of just randomly put these together. Let's go with this. First question this is just for Pappy. Would you rather take on a mama lion with just a dagger or a pack of 8 wolves with just 8 bullets and a gun? This should have been for Stevie. He's been training for it forever.
Wrote the book.
I feel like it's pretty easy. Take the wolves and the gun.
Yeah, why do you think that?
I feel like you'd scare them off, right? With the shots, potentially.
That's like got to be your only hope. I mean, you could probably
hold
hit
my
them
fire until I see the white of their fangs, you know? Like, I feel like I have no shot. Give me the gun and the lion, I feel like I might not even have a shot. A mama lion?
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that's 8 chances to blow your own brains out.
Right, yeah.
What are you talking about? Easy choice.
Yeah. I think Stevie would put glass in his hands and fist fight, right?
Yeah, because, I mean, you're not getting away from a lioness. Especially if it's like primetime hunting, they will stalk and stalk and stalk until you're pretty much dead.
Yep. All right, Pappy, your second question. This is every day, by the way. So, would you rather randomly stub your toe, get a brain freeze, or bite your cheek 3 times a day?
So it's 1 stub toe, 1 brain freeze, or 3 cheek bites?
I think every day for the rest of your life, I guess.
That's really hard. I feel like I'll go with the brain freeze.
Same. You can't do this. You can't do the toe.
I got a smoothie the other day, and the brain freeze was brutal, though. It was so bad. I was like putting the tongue on my roof.
But how long does it last, though? I haven't got one in a while. Is it like 5 seconds, 10 seconds?
It was like 10 seconds, but it was 10 seconds of hell. I mean, I feel like you're
biting
gonna,
your cheek the second time is brutal.
Yeah, and then like you're gonna do long-term damage if you're continuously beating down your cheek or your toe.
You're eating your mouth.
Brain freeze for sure.
Everyone else agree with that? Brain freeze or?
Oh yeah.
I used to wish like stubbed toes are my enemies. So yeah.
Okay, cool. So is it Josh next?
Hello. Welcome to the pod.
Hi, Josh.
Hi. Hello.
Brother, this guy stinks!
Do I get like a whole new line of questioning here?
Yeah. 1, 2, 3.
3.
3. Okay. Let's see, which one do I want to open for? Oh, yeah, perfect. I'll answer the easy one first. So this one is, if both your arms were gone and you could have 2 kitchen utensils as arms, what would they be?
What? This is so weird, Brett.
Answer the question.
Yeah, I'll say a coffee pot.
Ooh.
Would be one.
Gotta think about the ladies, Josh.
What is
2
coffee
knives.
pot?
Mikey.
Yeah, I got a coffee pot, and then I got, let's just go with a bread knife. One of the most versatile knives.
No spoon, Josh?
Well, I got a huge spoon in the coffee pot, you see.
Not going to
true,
utilize
true.
the spork.
Ooh.
Wow.
A Swiss Army knife would have been cheating.
Mikey, if you had 2 knives, like, at that point, do you just give up and do a life of crime
no,
or what?
I'm built for combat. I've given up a normal life. I'm only here to assassinate.
Cool. I like that answer, Josh. Okay, you ready for your second one? Man, this would be a Mikey question. For $10,000, would you spend 2 days carrying around a human-looking Japanese robot that you had to introduce to people as your girlfriend or wife or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah, of course.
You got to go to Notre Dame and everything?
Trace would understand completely.
Oh, yeah, for the money.
2 days later, it was for the money. She's like, oh.
I thought that was a different question, Mikey. That's not the one I would have picked for you, but cool. I mean, yeah, I would too, but like,
For how much?
I wouldn't be worried. 10,000.
What's the minimum amount you would do it for? 1,000?
I'd do it for $1,000.
I'd do it for $500. Shit.
I'd probably do it for.
Let me see this Japanese girl. Or this Japanese robot.
I get a girlfriend for 2 days?
Yeah.
Hey, I will take a picture of the Japanese robot. Oh my god, it's got a big open mouth. It's got a picture on it. I'll send it to you
Let's
guys.
do more than just introduce her. I tell you what.
Yeah, for real.
Pappy asked me a question. What's the lowest I would do it for? And I have an amount.
Yeah.
I would do it for a 10 shin.
Oh, nice.
Holy shit, I'm gonna come.
Hey now.
Cue
Well, good job,
this
Josh.
guy stinks. You played that at the wrong time, Mikey. You should have capped my segment.
Gosh, how would the people at work feel, though? I mean, like, Teresa she'd understand.
Would you be fired immediately if you tried to walk that thing in through the door?
Just to get through the metal detectors at Notre Dame. Like, it's clearly a weapon. Like, I'm not
They would
getting
definitely
anywhere.
start looking at you in a different way, especially with that robot with the mouth open.
You like take off your belt and you're like, I don't know what it is. This giant sex robot on your shoulder.
I only feel comfortable talking about this because we're a full 8 minutes into the pod already. No one's gotten this point.
All right, so that next leaves us to Stevie.
What's
One or
up? What's
two?
up? Yeah, I'll take 2.
Good choice.
Okay. Oh, God, this made me sick just thinking about it, but it's perfect. Gun to your head. You have to pick one food for your wife to chew up and spit into your mouth. What do you pick?
Oh. My wife to spit and chew? That's easy. She's got the
Well, it
cleanest.
says girlfriend, but I said girlfriend earlier. Brittany's like, your girlfriend?
Like, does it have to be a whole meal
No.
or just a snack?
Probably just a one-time snack. I mean, you going savory, you going sweet.
Soup.
Soup feels like it would be messy.
Pap, that's smart. That's
Steak
but
would be gross.
nothing would change.
Yeah, I would say probably like a tuna bowl. You know, get some rice, avocados, tuna, tomatoes, basil in there. You have like so many different flavors in a tuna bowl that like
That's true.
half that stuff's already chewed up anyway. So it's
Yeah.
not going to taste that much different. And plus, you have like a nice little heat in there that would take away from flavors I didn't like so much. So yeah, I'd say like a spicy tuna bowl.
That's not bad. Again, I'm okay with the bowl thing. I just don't know about the tuna. But yeah, I mean, maybe like a chicken bowl. But that's cool. That's a really good answer. You overthink it as usual, which I love.
Oh yeah, I try.
This one, would you rather have to heat up all your food in 10-second increments for the rest of your life or dive boner first into a sidewalk one time?
God.
Oh, dude, you see, the thing is like you can break a dick.
Oh, yeah. We heard some crunching in this movie.
Yeah, I know. You can break a dick. Man. So I have 10 seconds to eat, right?
No. You can only heat up your food in 10-second increments.
Oh, heat up my food?
Yeah.
Oh, that's easy. I take to heat up my food because what you guys don't know about me is I don't heat up leftovers.
Oh,
So, like,
okay.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
like
Just cold?
yeah, I eat it. I have never heated up leftovers in my entire life. So I eat leftovers straight cold no matter what the food is. And drives my wife nuts. So easy. I'll take the heat up to 10 seconds all day because I don't have to do it.
Like what?
What do you mean?
Name some.
Pizza?
Oh, pizza's cold always.
Pizza's easy. That's an easy,
Ever.
easy boy.
That's like its own food.
Chicken sandwiches, Chinese food especially.
Oh, Chinese food? That would be...
Yeah, I know. It's
I eat my Chinese food cold.
Hot
tacos
dogs?
for sure. Hot dog, brats 100% always cold.
No, I said hot dogs.
Hot dogs, I really don't eat them, so I don't have a
You
reason.
don't eat pap dogs?
Not really. I eat brats, man. I'm a brat man.
Wow.
Yeah. So I know it sounds weird, but I don't like. In Thanksgiving is a Festivus for me because it's like turkey's cold, ham's cold, all like the rolls are still cold, potatoes, macaroni's cold. It's a great
Mashed
cold
potatoes,
dish.
cold.
Yes.
I can usually do mashed
boy.
potatoes cold.
It's great because the
It's too pasty.
consistency's great because if they're good whipped like garlic mashed potatoes, you can dip like your bread or like even like a small ham bread sandwich in the mashed potatoes and eat it.
Yeah,
It's
but I do
great.
that with hot mashed potatoes.
Yeah, not if it's a cold ice cube of a
Don't
tater.
judge me until you've done it, Josh. I will
How
turn
can you
the tide
dip
on
into
this.
a hard substance?
Because if it's made correct, it won't like if it's whipped just right, like whipped mashed potatoes, the consistency is just the same as it is hot. All right, and part of me has to do it has to do with the impatience of it because I don't like to wait for my food to get warmed up, so I just grab it from the fridge and go.
All right, I got to stop you because I could listen. I could listen to you guys talk about this game all day. But does anybody else want to throw in real quick? Like, you guys would do the 10 seconds. You guys microwave your food.
I feel like we all need to volunteer some time towards Stevie. Like, this brother doesn't have enough time to heat something in the microwave for a minute. What can we do to help, Stevie? Can we help you
He
take
likes
the load?
it though. He likes it.
He's also not getting a minute. He's getting 10-second increments. This is his life now.
I'm just always on the go, fellas. All right, I don't have time to wait. It is what it is.
All right, I got the question I wanted Mikey to answer is he actually got. So that's the second question. So Mikey, you want to tell us where you're recording from? I don't think anybody else did, but
Mikey recording from Chicago, Illinois.
okay.
Spooky.
Your first question. Ooh. If your TV remote didn't work and you were sick and couldn't get up all day, what channel would you put on for the entire day?
Channel.
You're like, oh, I'll just
man.
watch on my cell phone.
Well, the thing is, I don't even know if I have channels. All I do is stream stuff.
Well,
Good for you.
Answer it as if you had channels still.
If I had channels.
32.
Gunsmoke.
Dude, that's a Jeff Long answer for
I know.
sure. Gunsmoke.
Gunsmoke and the Rifleman all day.
What day is it? Is it Sunday? Can we say it's Sunday so I can just choose
Yeah.
football? Okay, yeah,
That's
I'll
fine.
choose, but which football?
Yeah, he's saying you go on
Red
CBS
Zone.
or Fox.
Red Zone.
Oh, Red Zone. Yes,
yeah,
that's
I'll
the
go-
answer.
Yeah, Red Zone. That's a good answer.
It's just one
I
day.
don't know, I just don't have channels, so I don't know. Don't watch network TV anymore.
What's a channel, Grandpa?
I thought maybe you guys were old enough that you would still remember. But all right, here's the last question. Then we can move
What's
on.
yours, Brett?
Ooh,
USA?
this is
Burn
another
notice?
psych joke that you've been making for 10 years. Oh,
Yes. Yes.
TNT?
no, I'd
movies all
probably.
day?
Oh God, what would I pick?
AMC.
And you could probably get basketball later in the day if you stay on TNT.
Well, I wouldn't do ESPN because the morning shows would make me want to stay sick forever.
EWTN, the Catholic channel.
I'd probably rather
700
so I could
Club?
kind of like zone in and out. I'd probably do like HGTV or something, or like an HBO. Just pick one of the HBOs and just watch whatever movies come up. I know Stevie can get behind that. He likes movies. We all do.
Can watch movies all day.
HGTV is a solid choice.
It is because that's something you could just kind of focus on, not focus on.
House Hunters.
Yeah, I love that
Good
kind of
bones.
stuff. Love it or list it. All right, last question. In order for you to live, you have to kill a blind child who has the greatest voice of our generation. Are you killing the kid?
God.
This is the one you wanted Mikey.
I did.
Greatest voice of our generation.
He's just a little kid. Mike, you should see the picture of him. He's so cute.
It's like Billion Forsey.
How many #1 hits does he have?
None yet, but he might have. He might change to life forever. He might sing that song that brings the country together.
What am I dying from?
You're dying from non-killitis. I mean, you...
Oh,
I don't know.
sounds fatal.
It is fatal.
But I've got 2 knife hands, so I'm going to have to kill that kid.
Yeah,
That kid's going to have to die.
I think that's the answer. You'd have to feel bad about it, and you probably wouldn't want to look at him, but just be like, oh, I never liked your voice anyway. Bang.
These are Barstool questions? They ask these to random people?
No, famous people. There's a YouTube channel where they ask, like, comedians and everyone. They ask them a lot worse. They ask them the raunchy ones. But I have a lot more where that came from I could use in the future again. So, all right, cool. I know it took a long time, but hopefully our fans thought that was fun.
Good thing this movie's not very raunchy. Otherwise, those raunchy questions would have been so out of place.
Yeah, but I figured, I mean, Josh wouldn't want to answer something about, like, another question I had was, where would you want the vagina to be if it wasn't there? And I was like, I don't think anybody wants to answer that. It's relevant to what we're talking about.
It's in a good spot already. Can't really complain. Where else would it be? I don't understand.
I think her brother in this movie thought it should be a different place, but we'll get to him later. All right, so like I said 16, 17 minutes ago, we are doing the movie Teeth. I don't have... Does anybody have IMDb up? I don't even know who... I didn't recognize any of the movies that the director did.
Michael Lichtenstein.
Yeah.
Written and directed by
Mitchell.
50-year-old man wrote and directed this movie.
The Wedding Banquet. Yeah, I don't know any of these movies. So it's starring Jess Weixler, who I'm not super familiar with. I don't think there's any other really famous actors. Brittany recognized the brother. He was in Nip Tuck.
Yeah, Nip Tuck.
Other than that...
Yeah, right. The Doctor is the voice of Raphael in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Brett?
Which one?
The first one.
What about the second one?
Was it really? Oh, was that... You said Raphael, was it... What the hell was that? That guy?
Yeah.
In the cab?
Yeah.
In the live action movie or like...
Well, he's that guy too. Yep. That's correct.
And then, do you remember when he says, "It's true, vagina dentata"?
Yes, I do. I never thought, my childhood Josh never thought he'd hear Raphael say that.
No.
But I heard it.
Man, I can't believe I didn't look into that. I actually thought he looked familiar, but... All right, so the story starts with our main protagonist. Her name is Dawn. Pappy, do you like how they go kind of heavy on showing the nuclear power plants?
Oh, I thought you meant like this whole opening thing. I mean, I don't know. Like, I guess it's heavy, but it's kind of there in the background, at least. It's not that bad. I don't like this opening sequence, though. Like, it's...
So you don't...
It doesn't set the tone for what the movie...
No.
I think this movie is, like, classified as, like, a horror comedy.
I saw
like,
black comedy, yeah. But, yeah, definitely horror, too, I guess.
This is just kind of gross, and I don't really like it. And it's, I mean, the brother is, they're doing like he pulls out his, they're young, they're kids, and they do like I'll show you mine, you show me yours type thing.
Hate it.
Uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Don't like it, yeah.
It's so bad.
So you don't think the payoff at the end is like worth having this scene? There's a couple different ones, like that he's mad and he resents her because he loves her, I guess. And then also he seems to have a fondness for a different body part, and that's kind of like the last thing he thinks of before his dick gets bitten off. So I don't know. There's 3 little mini payoffs. I'm with you though. It's not like great at all.
It doesn't fit. Like I said, like the next 15 minutes of the movie, it's like there's not really much happening. So it's just kind of carried by trying to be funny. I don't get like this doesn't, and I knew nothing about this movie going in. Like after watching this scene, I was like, oh fuck, like what kind of movie are we watching here?
Yeah, not the greatest start. So then we get to just, man, I'm worried about what Stevie would say about this, but I kind of want Stevie to tell everybody about the Chastity Club?
I mean,
Freaking...
I think the movie could have started here.
Yeah.
I don't know why we had
100%.
that opening scene.
I agree.
Is the lesson of the opening scene that the dad should have, like, beat that little kid's ass right then and there? So he would have never...
I don't know the lesson of the opening scene. I do not know it. Was there meant to be a payoff or a lesson? I don't get it.
I thought I...
And the
named a
idea...
couple, but
Like, the idea of, like, a reversal of your opening image to your last... Yeah, that's not it. Like, getting your finger bitten to your dick getting bit off is miles different, but... yeah, so, Chastity Club, though, could have started here.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been neat. Also, kind of the issue I have with this movie is we never get a level of stasis with our main character at all. We're just kind of thrown into at Chastity Club, see a boy that she sees a boy that she likes, and we're kind of off to the races. And this boy and this girl don't know what the English language are, nor have they ever spoken to the opposite sex ever in their lives. So it's just uncomfortable for a good half hour.
She has a type, though, doesn't she?
Rapey, yeah.
Well, yeah, but also, you don't think it's a little bit Mishawaka-y, Adam Driver-esque, her type?
No, it's Adam Brody 100%.
Adam Brody's... I don't know, I'm more with Josh on the...
At the time of this movie was made, that is 100% casting type of Adam Brody. You can't tell me anything else. Like, to say no, it's not is just complete buffoonery at that point.
I'd say Adam Brody's better looking than both of those two guys, though, is what I was kind of getting at.
Yeah, but definitely a type. And if you're going to, like, typecast in this movie, it would certainly be Adam Brody. But, yeah, Chastity Club, I like the cool visuals. Some decent camera work in the beginning, but it fades real fast. But I just don't like the way this movie starts at all because it seems very clunky for our opening act that nothing really connects to anything. It's just kind of happening for movie's sake.
Yeah.
Tonally, it's like pretty all over the place. Like the horror comedy aspect, I guess. Like the first scene, like we said, pretty dark.
The music.
First scene's pretty dark, and then there are like some funny scenes, especially like... I guess there's supposed to be comedy when she's getting revenge on some of these guys that are taking advantage of her as well. Like there's supposed to be, I guess, some levity, I guess, when a penis drops. But I don't know. It's all like, in comparison to some other scenes, like it's kind of, the tone is really, really weird.
Yeah. Like one of the jokes is like when the boyfriend guy, Tobey, who she meets at that chastity thing, it's like, she's like, "Are you still a virgin?" And he's like, "Yeah, ... in his eyes." And there's like a bump, like editing score. It's like insane.
No, never. You know, it's never even been a big deal. I just always knew I wanted to wait until marriage.
So no one's ever even touched you?
Absolutely not. Gosh. Why? Are you?
I'm a virgin.
That's great.
In his eyes.
Oh.
We're trying to figure that. Does that mean he's born again or what?
I think that means he's like been forgiven for it, is what he was getting at.
No, I think it's if you kill the person you had sex with.
Oh.
See, in his
like
eyes.
Jesus would have done.
It follows.
Pap kind of made a point though with like the like the music part of it. I mean, you could have played Seinfeld music the entire movie and it would have made no difference. The music in this movie is so all over the place. It's not even funny. Like at certain points we're getting Jumanji themes like out of nowhere.
Oh yeah.
At certain points we're getting like at certain points we're getting like techno porno like music in there. Then there's like soft piano music in there, and the only like really musical trope that we get whatsoever is such a tired trope of is the guy who listens to metal is obviously a bad person. Like that's like one of the most tired tropes you can have in a movie.
I mean, the Jumanji thing makes sense because they're kind of trapped in a different kind of jungle. So I can see how you could get the Jumanji.
Then play it more than once.
That's true. They should have done it every time she was about to bite somebody.
Yeah.
But yeah, they bring up that music because, like, the lore of vagina dentata or whatever being some African lore or something. I just forgot, like, how much I forgot about, like, only a hero can... I don't even know what that part is about, like, a hero to, like...
Yeah, they don't explain it very well.
No. But I totally forgot about that part.
That's for the sequel.
Yeah.
A24 sequel.
Oh, I bet
Braces.
they could do a decent one.
Braces. Can this man control the teeth?
No, her teeth are getting crooked, so she gets braces inside on her dentata. So that's just a horrifying concept.
I think have we just said that out loud yet? That it's a vagina that bites people. That's the whole like concept of this movie. In case you haven't seen Teeth.
And Brett tried to pitch it to you that it was all created because of this double nuclear reactor in the background. She's a mutant.
Yeah,
She's an X-Men.
it's a big part of the movie. The adaptations. It's like what the teacher's going on about too. And I know what you mean, Stevie, when you said like you wish there was more like stasis or just like normalcy. Like, dude, every scene in this movie is about like sex, sexual
It's
assault.
all sex.
Yeah, there's not just like think about like a movie like It Follows, which is about sex, but not every scene has to be explicitly about sex or reproduction or sex ed class.
Yeah, I mean, there's ways to do this where could have been an awesome reveal if you just would have had this girl. And I don't like... I think it's difficult to pull off with high schoolers, this type of movie. I would rather have been much more like late 20s, early 30s adult, where this girl is like very removed from the world. And, you know, she meets this guy that she really likes, and we learn, along with the guy that she likes, that she has teeth in her vagina.
We did.
We learn it in the first 10 seconds, Brent.
Oh, you're right. God, you're right. It's like the beginning of Predator with the alien ship. Like, that shouldn't be there.
Yes, we learned that, like, this girl's vagina bites in the first 10 seconds.
I mean, you kind of infer it, but I guess they don't exactly say it.
It'd also be nice if she kind of experiences this phenomena happening in her vagina without it being a sexual assault every time. That's like 100% of the time it's a sexual assault that's going on.
Yeah. I mean, yes, technically, yes, they're all a sexual assault, but like at the one point where it does work, again, this is rape at the time, but she's like drugged up and enjoying it.
Yes, that is a bizarre scene.
That's insane. Yeah.
An odd choice.
I don't know. I like the little, I don't know, maybe duality, if you want to call it that. In her chastity club, she's like a god. But like in high school, she's like a loser.
God among virgins.
Also, I never got the line, Stevie, anybody explain the line with the teacher who says, this class was about you?
Now, I know a lot of you subscribe to other theories. But however you think this was all set in motion, it's about your life. It's about why you are the way you are. Dawn, this is about you. And you missed it.
What's that mean? Like, it would make sense if she...
evolution joke?
This movie's getting really close to The Room territory at that point. That was pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it almost sounds like she knows that she's got vagina teeth, but like she doesn't.
So, the best way I can think about it is typically with creative, especially if they're going to like write and direct something on their own. I know this movie's only 93 minutes long. This movie originally probably has like a 2 to 2.5 hour cut that we missed a lot of. And that's probably one of those things that didn't belong there. But for, you know, this director's or, you know, vision, he was like, well, this belongs here if we connect this in there. And when they edited it down in there, for some odd reason, it stayed.
Dude.
And I still have no idea why.
Why is she late to class? That's not even explained in the movie. She just is late. And it's like, why would like a person like this should have a reason for being late?
Well, I can't remember what happened right before that.
I think it's the scene where she's like masturbating, or she starts thinking about that guy.
Worst imagination ever.
Trying to jerk off to a wedding. Lame.
Like, there could have been some cool duality in this movie. If you start off with, you know, put this girl a little bit older, where she's like preaching chastity to these high schoolers or junior hires, and then like that night she goes out and murders a man with her vagina. Like, that's That's an interesting film to do.
She's Batman.
Yeah, it's like a crime-solving movie.
Yeah, essentially. It's just a little bit different.
Stevie, I know what you could call it, too. Vigilante.
Ooh, vigilante.
Wow.
I like that.
Wow.
Wow. That's not bad.
Not bad.
Actually, that's not bad. But
The Vigilante.
yeah, it's
coming
just
to theaters.
I'm kind of like with Josh though, that part where that teacher's like, "This is about you," is still just like, what the fuck are they talking about? Like, why is it just that one scene with that teacher for that split second, and then we just move on? I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't either. I do like the concept of she is chaste. She's a virgin. She's trying everything in her power to be pure, which is why she's 18 years old and has no idea she has vagina in her teeth. I like that. I think that's really cool, like a cool little concept, because anybody else, they would have figured it out, I don't know, when they hit puberty, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reaching for things that I thought were cool or not, but I think that's kind of cool that she's one of the only people who wouldn't know 18 years into her life that her teeth has vagina dentata, because she doesn't ever experience anything even remotely sexual. So
Yeah, she's kind of ruined sex for herself. She's kind of repulsed by the idea of it now. Like, that's why she can't even jerk off and why she has such a horrible day the next day. I don't know. She's just like she's going into a lot of these situations already not feeling great about sexuality, I guess. She's just very, very uneducated on the subject as well.
I mean, she literally has to use CSI stuff to take the sticker off the picture of the vaginas to look at it. I actually thought for a while that this was going to be she was a virgin because she knew she had teeth, but obviously you find out that that's not true. She has no idea.
Subconsciously, though.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure she doesn't know subconsciously because of that one little thing when she was a kid. Again, I think that's another... I'll explain it all later what I think. I said a little bit about the beginning. I mean, I think it's bad, and like you've all convinced me that shouldn't be there, but I feel like there are small little pieces of why it's there. And I think it works on a very, very small level. But again, I'd rather it be gone because, like Stevie said, it'd be so cool. Because, like, Pappy had no idea what this movie was about. Would you think Pappy, like, when they're swimming, would you have thought, no, it's vagina teeth? Or do you have been as surprised as everyone else?
I mean, I did know that there were vagina teeth, but that's the only thing I knew. Like, you said that on the podcast, that it was about a vagina
did I? Oh, okay.
bites.
My bad.
But like I said, I thought it was going to be like a sincere, scary movie after that opening scene. It just doesn't, I don't know. It's the fact that they're kids, too. It's just gross. Don't like.
Yeah, like, why not make them, like, younger teenagers or something when they're, like,
you have to have them not remember. You have to have him not remember.
I mean, he remembers. He only does butt stuff now. He knows what he's doing.
But kind of like what Josh said, that's more subconscious, I think. He's doing it. He doesn't know why he's doing it. He obviously doesn't really know because at the very end, he literally remembers his finger and he's like, oh crap, and then she crunches him. But yes, I'd say on some subconscious level, he knows. That's why he does butt stuff. That and he's a metalhead, man. They love butt sex. Everybody knows that.
Everybody knows.
Did anybody else think that it was... I understand there's budgetary restraints and whatnot, that this was almost set in the wrong decade.
I kept saying, why aren't they looking on the internet for the vagina or whatever? I mean, it also seems like it's like they have a 50s mentality, like the people.
Oh, that would have been so much better.
This to me screams set in the 1950s.
That would have been pretty cool.
Or like an 80s
This
Footloose.
Screams for it. You could go neon electro, like lighting and music for this movie would work too. 80s or 50s would look great. But having it set in kind of like dull middle like America didn't really do itself any favors.
No, and you're right. It's like, and that's bullcrap. I know enough about teaching and stuff that outside of like Christian schools or Catholic schools, they're not going to hide a picture of a vagina from a student. That's ridiculous. That's 50s. That's the 50s.
Mm-hmm.
No.
So that doesn't make any sense. I mean, again, it's like...
Yes.
I mean, I don't know if this would have worked in the 50s, but they're trying to go for a 50s vibe. So, yeah, good call on that. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's not even like a private school.
They don't even block out the dongs. It's just the vaginas. Doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, it's really, really dumb. It kind of screams of 1950s sexism where, yeah, so I don't know. I'm with you. Man, I can't believe it. I'm literally on the second line of my notes.
It's just like this movie. So many dongs.
Oh, yeah. So many dongs on the floor.
Let the dongers hit the floor. Let the dongers.
That's definitely a song he was listening to, the metal. That's good. Okay, let's I'm going to rapid fire some of this stuff. I have Mom Sick, which becomes a storyline later.
Mom Sick from Nuclear Plant 2? Are we supposed to infer that?
I don't know.
I'm blaming everything on the nuclear plant.
Doesn't this happen in the room too? Just like she has cancer.
She's like, oh, I got the nuclear cancer.
You're so right. That would have
cancer.
That would have been so much cooler in the 50s. Like they build this nuclear plant and it's all faulty. You know, like the atom bomb. We got to be safe for everyone.
Yeah, you guys are making some good points now. Yeah,
we bought the expensive property right next to the nuclear tower. It's extra warm all year round.
We got it on a steel.
Have you heard of the Manhattan Project?
Burns when I pee. I put bro metalhead. People make fun of her. Textbook movie. What movie? What's that? I don't know what
it's like a Godzilla movie with a vagina.
Oh, then that's pretty funny later. Is that when she's fantasizing and that little vagina ant monster pops in her mind? Is that when she gets all jacked up?
She fantasizes about Tobey, and the fantasy gets ruined by
that monster, right?
Giant crab.
Which comes back to that.
Can we have Corey do an edit where she's like doing that in bed, but every cutscene of her fantasy is Kylo Ren in like the high, like black pants that come up to the back.
Dude, that's perfect. I'm sure he would do that.
We've all been there.
Miss you, Kylo. Wish you're here tonight.
Let's see. I got hiking, bro scared of vaginas, fantasies, phone breakup. So they're kind of. I think Stevie maybe brought it up early on. I don't know. As soon as they get put in a tough situation where they're with the member of the opposite sex, their walls completely come down, and they're like horny monsters. Oh, so they like break up on the phone, and then Pappy, why don't you tell me what you think about that first like kind of conversation that she has with her brother, and he says some really weird things to her, which I figured you'd love.
I mean, I don't know, like. I guess this movie's trying to depict a bunch of different situations where like sexual assault might occur, and then like, you know, have some empowerment in it that this person's getting their revenge. The brother's just like a fucking creep.
They wanted to make him like the worst.
He lives in like a pap den. Like I guess this guy's usually from Nip Tuck, the actor. Yeah, like. He looks exactly like a young Joe Rogan to me, like Fear Factor days.
He's gross looking. I
thought it was
disgusting.
Dirty and
Sid
gross.
from Toy Story, all grown up.
Yeah, Sid was a real person and 30 years old.
Oh, God.
He has like a hybrid indoor-outdoor dog cage for his dog, Mama, who comes into play later. But I don't know. He says something to the effect of like, the reason you've never been able to have sex is because you've been saving yourself from me, like, come have sex with me, or
really weird.
Come sit your pretty ass down next to me. He's creepy.
He's also hiding in the bathroom when she's about to get naked. Yeah, he's weird.
It was just a prank, bro.
He's that nightmare son that nobody wants living in their basement, like me in my 20s. I'm just kidding. I was a nice kid.
The dad is like the only good male person in this entire movie.
Well,
like literally, right?
Their friend is,
or the other friend. Yeah.
But it's not hard to be when literally the other three men are rapists.
The radiation has changed all of the men in this town. They're crazy.
Yeah, I'll say. And they're all kind of different.
I don't know. They make so many points about these towers of radiation.
What does it mean, Stevie?
What's that?
There's 2 towers of radiation, man.
The 2 towers.
We can't bring it up enough times in the pod. Like,
Dude.
what's up?
Well, they
with
show
it?
it like 15 times in the movie.
I know,
Like,
they really
clearly
do.
want you to think that everything comes back to this nuclear power plant, and then they never explain anything about it.
And I get it, budgetary constraints, but in my opinion, if you're going to go on it that hard, start the fucking movie going through the plant and like pan out or, you know, at least zoom onto the house that's, you know, right in front of it.
I could see that kind of
And
like
then
going
start
through
your-
it, yeah.
And then start your movie.
One guy dumping a bucket of ooze in a creek.
The opening of The Simpsons.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, 0 days since our last incident. Like, might as well go there.
Are you at least happy that they didn't show like people working at the power plant and going to dump nuclear waste into the lake, into the river, and then it follows the river and it goes into their well that they drink water out of? Like, I'm glad they didn't do that.
Might have been an interesting movie.
Well, I think that's like more like a Toxic Avenger.
Anything other than like 90% of it is just her getting assaulted. So it's like if they added anything else to the story, it's gonna be better.
And the thing is, too, like, if you're gonna make this
movie is just all assaults.
like a black comedy or even like a parody of some sort, satire,
I think
where
it's
you're just
both,
gonna-
actually.
it doesn't hit the mark on either. But you have to go really hard in like one direction. Like, if this movie is a satire, okay, I can almost see every scene being about sex. But this movie like weaves in and out between like satire, drama, comedy, horror, black comedy. It's just, it doesn't really find its footing. It's this movie's almost like watching like a newborn deer or a wounded deer trying to walk. It doesn't really find its footing ever.
Scene to scene is tonally different.
Yes.
I could never recommend this movie to someone, if not only because there's like a violent rape. You know what I mean? Like next to jokes. Like it doesn't. That you shouldn't put those two things together. Like honestly.
But they get what's coming to them.
Yeah, but I mean,
Pappy,
I don't know. Like,
let's make this an audio medium here. What do you mean? There's a rape scene next to jokes. Spell it out a little bit more clearly.
Yeah.
So like the good guy Tobey is not a good guy at all, and like I forget who said this, like Stevie, they're horny monsters, or Mikey said that they're just so horned up all the time because they're so repressed that she's like finally succumbs to it, and she's like kind of like towing the line where she's like, all right, let's like make out, like go to the beach, whatever, all good. But then she goes into the cave, the cave for sex, which has like a crusty blanket. I'm sure that she wraps herself up in right away. Disgusting.
Oh, people were blowing loads in this blanket.
Oh, definitely.
She wraps herself.
Dude.
Yeah. And yeah, like I said, like nothing about what happens like next is funny at all. Like it's they start making out and then she says no, and like I did think it was a little bit out of character because she starts like swearing at him. I mean, she only says damn it, but like I don't know, it doesn't feel like something she would say. But like he forces her to the ground, her head bangs against a rock, and then
Did you catch what he says right there? Like his big reasoning?
He hasn't jerked off since Easter.
Oh yeah.
My bad, Josh.
Since Easter Sunday. No, I did not want to say it, Brett. I'm so glad
Which is funny
you
because
did.
that was the last day he jerked off. He jerked off on Easter.
It's like a Lent decision.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Was Tobey Catholic?
I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
I doubt it.
But yeah, I mean, but then like the payoff of this, Brett, it's like his dick gets bit off and we see it
Yeah.
and it's bloody, which I don't know.
I felt like his reaction.
Was funny?
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of
I
funny,
don't know.
too. I can't believe he didn't grab it. But little do you know until later that he died about 15 seconds later, so.
Classic Tobey.
But that's what I was
Classic
saying, like
Tobey.
Josh, like it's
You
like
bastard.
that's supposed to be like a silly visual next to like a violent rape.
I'm sorry, Pap, but you're right. The assault is horrifying. It's nothing you want to see. But when she's like crawling away against the rocks and super sad and glances to the side, and the camera decides to just linger on a 5-second shot of a severed dick on the ground. Did the movie not bump up a couple of stars at that very moment for you?
This movie has some funny scenes.
Unbelievable.
It's not funny. I laughed a couple times.
It's a good looking fake dick. Yeah. I'm gonna say that all of them are pretty good looking fake dicks.
I know you like the Prince Albert at the end, right?
Yeah, that was awful. I hated that.
God, it just seems uncomfortable for both people. Apparently that was made of like sugar or candy, so if the dog ate it on accident, it'd be able to eat it.
Good old chocolate dick.
Like the piercing was done, had like, it's like a piece of candy or something like that, had sugar on it or something, so the dog could process it. So yeah, swimming, sleeping bag, bites his dick off, which I typed a few times. So then I had a shower room meltdown. She melts down, right?
Shower room meltdown.
She's like looking at herself all crazy in the mirror, and then she goes in her room and has a meltdown, isn't she?
Is she like looking at herself naked in the mirror?
No, that's later. That's after she's with douchebag Ryan. I don't know. It's obviously not that important. How about...
is that after she kills Tobey?
Yeah, after she kills Tobey.
Just like feeling guilty about it?
Yeah.
I felt like this also could have been like a whole movie in here where it's like she bit his thing off and he dives in the water in a panic to get away, and she doesn't know where he is for a couple of days, and the tension's like mounting, and she goes back and she sees a crab eating his dick.
Oh
like
God,
a day
that
later.
That caught me. Yeah, that was.
And then she's weirdly like standing on like a precipice watching like nighttime cruise.
Hello?
Hey, Pap.
Hey, Pat.
Yeah. Oh, you gone?
Thank God.
Oh man, I was
sorry. Yeah, you couldn't hear me.
We were talking to you.
No, I was answering.
Oh.
And no one was responding.
Oh, we didn't hear
Well,
you.
Pappy, I was just describing how our main character, like, she see like that period of time where she like bites off Tobey's ween and he like is found dead. Like that could be a whole movie in there, right? Like that's kind of like the movie Brick is all inside of that.
That's what Brick's about?
Pretty much. You know it.
Well, he
Lots of
wanted
shoe shots, too.
He wanted to lay a brick.
I don't know. No, you should answer your question from earlier, Pat.
What was the question from earlier?
If you thought it got better when she's up against the brick and he's like screaming and he swims away.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
Does severed dong make this better?
I love the scene where the little crab has the dick and he's waving it over his head with the pincers. Like, it's not. I'm not saying this movie's not funny. I'm just saying the two tones don't work well together.
But I thought I know it might not be, obviously it's not the world's greatest, but isn't that kind of how black comedy is? It's dark, but you laugh at things you probably shouldn't laugh at. I don't know. I guarantee you Corey would laugh at dicks getting bit off.
I end up laughing at the violence in dark comedies, and they're usually not sexual assaults as well, but I guess...
Look at Fargo. Great black comedy.
Overrated.
Yeah, I just cannot... I wouldn't call this movie a black comedy, I guess. Just because I guess the comedy is not there. And I find so many of the characters awful and off-putting. I don't want to find any of them funny.
It's a comedy like without any jokes, kind of, though. It's got like 3 huge jokes.
The wiener's getting cut off.
Dick mutilation, number 1.
Every time a wiener is cut off is like the punchline.
You guys didn't laugh when he's like, it's true, it's true. He's on the ground saying vagina dentata.
Oh, vagina dentata?
Thought that was really funny.
That was horrifying.
I was just grossed up that he was not using a glove.
Well,
like that's all I could think about was,
dude.
ugh, gross.
That's the point, though. He's sexually, at the very least, he's sexually battering her. So that's the point. Every guy in this movie is a terrible,
I remember
person.
a joke, a straight joke from the movie. How about when they're trying to reattach the second guy's wiener?
That's funny.
And the doctor's like, man, so
Almost
small,
sideways.
doesn't even seem worth it.
Yeah.
There has got to be a story here.
He was in a delirium.
hardly seems worth it.
That's a dick move.
When that same kid calls for his mom in the garage
Yeah.
on the intercom, that's pretty funny.
Never intercom again.
You know what? This is a funny movie. I take it back. This is a hilarious movie. 10 out of 10 comedy.
There you go. Finally, yes or no's. One thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, man, tell me that chastity group was not like a bunch of just virgin drones. Like, they were like super creepy the second time around.
I need more of that in this movie.
Yeah, no, and that kind of...
This movie never got around to saying what it wanted to say, and I feel like that would have been a great vessel to do it through that group.
What did it want to say, Stevie?
I don't know, because it never told me.
I was getting major Sparkle Motion vibes from all those people, too.
Yeah.
Or Happy Hands Club, yeah, along those vibes.
I don't know. I felt kind of bad for her. I think it kind of shows you what... And this is a not funny part at all, but like, her whole life has been about this. And even though she literally did nothing wrong, she feels like she can't even talk to those people anymore because she feels like a fraud because she's unpure, even though some guy just raped her. So, I don't know. I felt really bad for her there. I wish someone would have come to her aid earlier because she obviously was not feeling it. But then again, every time she said something, the kids were like, they are the snake. I don't know what they were saying. They were saying a bunch of weird crap.
Were they literally saying that, or was she just tripping out? I wasn't sure.
I couldn't either.
When I watched.
Wasn't sure if she was dreaming or...
They were, saying some crazy stuff.
Because yesterday I was pure.
She shall be called a woman because she was taken out of man.
Adam. Right. I can't make sense of it yet. Is that it? Is it the Adam inside? Inside of
Bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
I think that might be another, like, dick metaphor. I don't know. So then, okay, so Ryan, they show him a little earlier, and you think, looking back, it seems really obvious that they were having a bet, but the first time I saw it, I didn't think so. I thought he just liked her. But he inserts himself into the storyline. He takes her home, he asks her out, and then he comes back and he gets punched in the face by, what's his name? Her brother.
The brother.
Greasy brother.
Yeah.
Sid.
Metalhead. Sid, yep.
Mm-hmm.
While he's doing that, she's riding her bike to the doctor, which we've already talked about a little bit. Well, actually, she does internet first. Like, they actually do have computers. And I just kept, like, looking away because the thing she was going to type. She kept typing. I was like, oh, please don't push enter. Like, genital mutation and then all this other weird stuff. But anyway, so she finds out about vagina dentata. And then she goes, I mean, don't you think she should have at least warned the doctor?
I was trying to think of, like, wouldn't they take her name before she even gets examined as well? Like,
He should have warned the doctor not to assault her during the exam.
No. I'm not.
Yeah.
Again, this is hindsight. Obviously, he got what he deserved, but at the time, he was just acting like a normal, respectable doctor. But Mikey, maybe he knew he was going to do that, and he didn't want any proof that she was there. So, I mean, he's literally the only guy in the hospital.
Yoinks.
I don't know. I feel like in hindsight, it's like, oh yeah, she shouldn't have warned him. He sucks. But in foresight, it's like, he's going to be sticking his fingers in you. You just bit some guy's dick off. Maybe give him a heads up.
Is that confirmed that he was assaulting her as well?
Dude,
like he's
that's
just
100%.
Definitely.
That's 100%. Like,
that's how I read it, but
100% of medical books would never ever tell you to do that. A, it's bad.
And the things he says are gross,
yeah,
too.
That's bad. He's definitely doing that. I mean, what did he stick, like 4 fingers in there or something like that? But yes, yeah, definitely assaulted her there. Which apparently the vagina has a brain because
thinks for itself.
Yeah, it knows when things are good and when things are bad.
What's that movie we did, Mikey, with a twin on the back of her head?
Ugh.
Oh, Malignant?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Malignant, but with a vagina.
You guys did a movie? Was that early on or what?
No, we did that, last year?
Oh, wow.
2 years ago?
Sounds disgusting.
Classic movie.
Okay, so I have Crab Wiener throws ring away, so she's kind of given up that life. I have, lots of screaming, it's true, vagina dentata, ouch. Police. I was confused about the police part and the car. Did someone steal Tobey's car?
His car was still there because he's dead.
When she's driving, she's like, Tobey? Also, Tobey's going to come to the thing, but only if you don't want him. Only if you want him there. Is that a lie? Because obviously nobody talked to Tobey.
No, they said they talked to him a couple days ago, right?
His friend was like, "Oh, I talked to him a couple days ago before he was."
This has to be a 2.5 hour movie. Like, initial cut has to be. Because there's so many things that just don't make sense. Like on a normal playing field, where it's.
Well, go ahead and name some.
I just think this original cut is so much longer. Like, the teacher, for one, I'm kind of with Josh. I think, like, the Tobey death is much more pivotal somewhere in a lost movie that we'll never see. That could, like, I'm with Josh. That could have been a movie on its own. Kind of the disappearance of Tobey through death by vagina.
Nothing happens with the police investigation.
Also, things with the brother, like him punching that dude for no reason. The mom relationship never really pans out, even though we're supposed to feel something about it. Like, I think this movie's a lot longer.
The mom thing is just wasted runtime. There's nothing happens with that at all.
Well, it does leads to the end with the brother. Because she can forgive a lot of things, but, like, he literally let the mom die just about. Because he hates his parents so much, even though it's not his real mom, but... So, yeah, Did something strike you, Stevie, when I was talking about the car and the police? Because that's when you started being like, oh.
Why? I mean, why even show those things? Because they don't really pay off to anything. Normally
the police
in a movie...
are fine because she follows them, I think, but like I don't get the car thing.
In a movie, though, it's almost like, what's it called, Chekhov's gun?
Yes.
If you're going to like have a police presence in a movie, in my opinion, they have to come around and ask questions at a certain point. Just, I mean, especially when a doctor makes a mention of, pretty much all these people dying like this, or they have that stupid throwaway scene where they're talking about that tooth, how it's human.
Yeah.
What's the point of it if we're not going to have it lead anywhere? We
because
know
the
it's
cops
human.
Never, but like you think that they're at least going to like start looking for her, but
right,
kind of like what Mikey was alluding to earlier. Like she should be really easy to. It should be really easy to find out who did this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they look at that kid's cell phone. She was the last person that he called, or she called, or whatever.
The friend knows for a fact that she was there because she talked to him, I guess. So, yeah, and it doesn't really... Like, if they would have showed the cops maybe following down the street after she gets in the car with the old man, then maybe, but they kind of just end it there. I think they just want other doctors to be like, ooh... Vagina tooth. I don't know.
Vagina tooth.
So she's going to be like on the run after this, right? Because the whole cop thing doesn't go anywhere. But I mean, she's admitted to killing him. Like, is this like the birth of a superhero?
Maybe,
like,
yeah. Vigilante. I feel like she could easily get off of that. I mean, how could anyone prove that she has control over those teeth? Which she only really does kind of later, but that's not... She tries to go tell the police. I mean, I think she would have been fine, but she never really makes it there because of what Ryan does, and...
That was her villain turn.
Yeah.
Ryan crossing her.
So let's talk about that scene. So, he is a shoulder to cry on. He takes her home to his awesome garage... and drugs her. She passes out, and he's vibrating her with those little things you can get at Walgreens, the little Trojan finger vibrators.
It's so unbelievably fucked.
Yeah, but that's the point, though.
No, it's not. This movie literally endorses that. They have consensual sex. Not consensual sex, but her vagina doesn't eat him. The movie is saying that it's okay.
The vagina's drugged too.
But then she has sex with him again the next morning after.
Well, I think she's pumped.
The directors literally said that this is fucked up. He shouldn't have had this in the movie. Like it's literally rape, and the movie's saying it's okay. Stevie, am I wrong?
No, you're not wrong. It's very out of place and a strange choice. I mean, like, especially like I said, like he wrote and directed it.
Well, I don't think it's out of place at all.
This is literally a Bill Cosbying. This is but like.
Yeah, this is Spanish Fly at its finest in a film.
The movie draws a 1-for-1. Like every time someone assaults her, the thing bites him, and like you can be like, yeah, well, the thing was drugged, but then the next morning she still likes him, and the only reason she doesn't like him is because of the bet. Like she would have been fine with being like drugged
and raped,
like, assaulted.
I'm with you.
That's rape.
I know exactly what you're saying, and it is rape. But I also feel like she's like over the moon because she is able to have sex with somebody. Again, not saying it's right. She doesn't know anything about sex or anything like that.
I weirdly kind of come down on Brett only because I don't think she realized what was going on, like, at all. Even the next morning, I think she's still, like, out of it. And then when she finally does come to the realization, it's snap, crackle, pop.
Plus, she might not even remember that she didn't consent.
But the realization was the bet, not that she had been drugged.
I don't think she ever realized that. It's not great, Pap.
I think that just turned into a revenge after that. I mean, I know exactly what you're saying.
I'd rather it not be in the movie.
She knew she was drugged because she takes a pill from him.
Yeah, but he said it's supposed to calm you down, not make you practically comatose. Again, no one's doubting that that's rape. That is rape.
Yeah, it's not great.
But yeah, I think she's also naive and ignorant about what anything is. And she starts to learn throughout the movie. She takes a hard turn from where she starts to where she ends up in the span of about 40 minutes. So,
okay, but it's just a crazy choice to not have the vagina bite him when she's being raped and wait till the next day after she had been raped and they were having sex again. Like, that's stupid. And that, like, the reason it bites is the bet. Like, that's somehow worse than what happened the night before. The movie's literally saying that.
Couldn't you consider having sex kind of under false, what word am I looking for? Fraudulent circumstances would be sexual assault as well. So, like, I don't know. Let's just move on. I know what you're saying. I'm not defending it at all. I'm just trying to give a different perspective on it. It is Cosby. Obviously, that's what he did. So, I know exactly what you're saying.
You're the one who keeps talking about it, Brett.
This episode is never making it to air.
It's because I'm the host. I'm running it, so I gotta just kind of get it going. The thing is, he obviously doesn't believe her. But anyway, autopsy. What do I have autopsy for? Oh, that's the tooth thing. Ryan made a bet, bites his dick off. Hospital, mother dies. Okay, Mikey, this is a weird scene. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the scene with her dad and the brother? I didn't like that scene.
Yeah. The brother is, like, passed out. He never leaves his room. He's in his room 24/7, and so he's got a girl in there, he's got his dog in there, and they're like passed out, and the dad walks in and he's like, I want you out. And the greasy brother Sid is getting all confrontational and sends his dog after the dad, and the dog takes a chunk out of his neck a little bit.
I think he's grabbing him by the neck. It's like what a trained dog would do. Because, like, the brother's psycho.
Mm-hmm.
And I do like how the dad kind of whoops him for a while.
Yeah, they kind of tussle a little bit. And then the dog is like, yeah, I got the dad's neck in its mouth. And the brother is just kind of like, you didn't have to marry her. Because he's obviously in love with the sister. So, like, he didn't want his dad to marry this woman because he's... I don't know how old they are, like 5 in this opening scene. It's really weird. So, like, he's been in love with her even before they were, like, 5 and 3 years old. This girl is, like, so young in this opening scene. But he's like, I've been in love with her the whole... Oh, he doesn't say I've been in love with her the whole time, but like that's kind of implied. And the girlfriend there is like, that's so fucked up. It's really fucked up. This is a weird family. And then he... I don't know. The dad is just like pleading with the son to like let him go, and he eventually does. And then it's just awkward from there, I guess. I guess he's just gonna keep hanging out. The dad's not gonna kick him out immediately. And then like Stevie said, I think there's a lot of chunks missing because the dad and the girlfriend that was just sleeping in the bed,
they're together.
Like wind up in the hospital together, and then. Our protagonist, I can't remember her name. She just shows up when
Dawn.
she was already there because she was seeing her mom, who was like either dying or like really really sick, just already
I think she was
in the hospital.
Dead.
Was she? Was that supposed to be what that was? Well, then why isn't the dad there?
I think he came home because he was mad. I think she died. He came home because he's mad and like really emotional, and that's when he's like, "You need to get out." But, yeah, I don't know. Maybe skipped a conversation or two.
I think there's a lot missing.
And then we find out that the girlfriend does say, hey, I'm really sorry about your mom. Your brother told me that she always screams like that. So the Dawn just gets really mad. So then she goes and convinces her brother to have sex with her, and he all of a sudden remembers his finger, and she bites his dick off, and it's got piercing in it that looks awful. And it's just laying on the ground, and he gets his dog to come out and try to bite her, but of course he just eats the penis instead. Yeah, that seems pretty crazy.
Yeah, what's Pappy's woke take on this? How is this so bad?
Listen, you're the social justice warrior.
Not today, my
I'm
friend.
not the one defending the Bill Cosby scene. That's you, Josh.
Okay.
We're not defending it. We're explaining our interpretation of it. No one's defending what any of the three guys do in this movie. At least I'm not. I'm pretty sure Josh is not either. But, yeah, so I would say, Stevie, 100% that brother is going to be dead in 3 minutes? 3 to 5 minutes?
Yeah. It's...
I think it says in Wikipedia that implies that he's going to die. He'll probably go into shock and bleed to death.
He's gonna die and bleed to death, and so will an old man who can't speak. Yeah.
Actually, Pappy, what about this? I actually brought this up to Brittany, and we had a little discussion. Did the brother deserve that?
He did kill her mom, kind of indirectly through negligence.
That's an opinion by a bimbo girlfriend. Again, I think he did. But
I mean, I think Josh was onto something where they thought they were going to make like sequels and stuff. This is her origin story, you know? Like at this point she's fully gained control and she's using it against her enemies, not just people who assault her.
Villain
directly.
origin story.
Teeth 2, vagina dentata 2.
Nice.
That's good. Yeah, so she goes from just protecting herself to being like an anti-hero. I actually said to Brittany during this, I almost wish that like women had this power, but people in general, especially some women, they can be pretty vindictive, and I would definitely not trust anyone to have that kind of power. So, and I think we kind of see that she takes it from defending herself to, whether you want to argue it's during the second one or the third one, to just kind of making people pay.
Why is she smiling in the final scene? It's like,
because she's gonna bite that guy's dick off.
She's happy to be assaulted now, as long as she's got a weapon to fight back with.
Well,
I thought she was gonna bite his big nasty tongue out that he keeps
God, he was
slurping.
disgusting.
Yeah, well, all men are bad. That's what this movie says. But that's pretty much it. Yeah,
Not the dad.
No, not the dad or the friend, but the friend like barely has any lines. But yeah, she hitchhikes, and the guy falsely imprisons her, so she's gonna either bite his tongue off or whatever, bite a stick off, one of the two, but he's going to regret messing with that. But the end. So let's go ahead and do some final thoughts. The trivia is short. It's weird, so it's short. Anybody have any final thoughts?
Did you guys hear the outro music when the credits played?
What was it?
I can't remember what song it was, but it was laughably stupid and bad. It was
the rap song, right?
It was a rap song.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was.
It's called You Did, Bomp Shooby Dooby Bomp.
Yeah.
Performed by Chuck Prophet. It's literally called You Did, and then parentheses, Bomp Shooby Dooby Bomp.
It's an odd choice. Odd choice for the last piece of music there.
Performed and composed by Robert Miller. That can't be the Robert Miller. Okay. Anybody final thoughts? I mean, I think you've kind of already said Stevie thinks that this movie could... Are you saying it would benefit from an extra hour, or just it's obvious that there's an extra hour that was cut out?
I think it's pretty obvious there's an extra hour that was cut out.
So you think the storyline is not savable?
That's the thing is like, there's a story in there, just not this one. Wrong place. Themes not well fleshed out.
Yes or no? Good bones or not? Teeth bones.
That's such a
100%. If this was an A24 movie, people would go apeshit for it.
Definitely.
Yeah, but just the thing is, though, is like, I understand there's budgetary constraints, and I find it weird that the guy who wrote and directed it at the time was nearly 50 years old and this came out. I think it's the wrong voice for... it's the wrong voice to apply to these characters, but I do think there's a good story in there, just not this one.
Pappy, do you think that the line, no, look, I'm conquering them, see, yeah, I'm the hero, changes your opinion on that scene?
No, because the sex, even when she's under the influence, is presented as good. But that's
what I'm saying. He's saying, I'm the hero, see? He obviously doesn't believe it. He thinks she's full of crap, but in her drugged up state, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense.
All I'm saying is the movie pretty clearly is like coming down hard on the fact that he made a bet about it. Like that's like the whole thing. It's like set up throughout the movie. Like the movie doesn't care that he drugged her and had sex with her.
I wonder if does he say that? Like you said, he said that. I just feel like he might not even remember. Like might not even have thought of that.
I'm not saying the movie's heart is in the wrong place at all. Like, I
no,
think
but the teeth are
trying to be. Yeah, exactly.
Mikey, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Guys have brought up a lot of good points about just a lot of things missing from this movie. I think I like the idea of it taking place in the 50s. I think that would be a really solid idea. And I think it would add to like the spooky kind of tone a bit as well. Just because it's tonally, it's all over the place for me, so I just don't really think it flows very well as a movie. And yeah, like we said, I think we've added a bunch of scenes that could have helped it a lot. And it would have been nice to see her kind of finding out she has this thing on her own volition, rather than just like being punished and forced to use this mutation in a horrible way every time. I don't know, just... Well, I don't know. It's a no for sure, but I think there could be an interesting movie there, just if it was done by someone else, not this guy. I don't know. An A24 movie, yeah, for sure. That would be probably pretty cool. So it's a no right now, as the movie is right now.
Can you think of a director you'd want to see do it? Like, you think Gorecore would do something with it?
I mean, Gore would be interesting with those colors. That color palette would work.
Brandon Cronenberg.
What does he do?
He did Possessor. Possessor
was the guy who did The Witch and Lighthouse and stuff.
Egger? Or what's his name? Robert Eager or Eggers? Yeah.
So basically any of those kind of like horror genre. Hold on. Hang on a second.
Josh, do you really think I'm woke?
You're secretly the wokest. It's not bad.
Well,
Josh takes pride in being closed-minded.
no, he's a social justice warrior.
That's an old term. Haven't heard that name for many ages.
Oh, yes. They once called me that.
All right, sorry. So let's go ahead. Let's go ahead to Pappy.
I'm gonna give it a no, but it's not even really a hard no. I think it's funny at times. Yeah, that part does kind of bother me. Like I said, the third guy, Ryan. But I don't know. Overall, I didn't. Even though I think it's funny, I didn't laugh out loud much. It's just more kind of amusing and good bones for sure. But it doesn't feel very well executed. Stevie brought up some really good points about how there's just like some straight up missing scenes at times. Would like to see this tried again though. Good spooky pick, Brett, but a soft no.
This is gonna be this will be a soft no, just because I do respect that it's an original story, and I always like original stories, especially when they're written and directed by the same person. I do think, though, there's a good story in there somewhere, just not this one. You know, I've been kind of toiling with, would it work good as a Netflix series? Would it work good as a movie? Either, or as another movie that's remade, either or I think would be fine. Just set in different settings, whether it's be, in the 50s with hard teals and really vibrant yellows. I think that would work great. Or if it went to the 80s with really vibrant reds and vibrant blues with kind of a, neon electro score in the background, I think that would work as well. This is gonna be a soft no. Just, too many scenes missing, not a lot of great payoffs, totally all over the place. So, soft no.
Picture this, Stevie. The movie takes place in the 80s, and the score is done by Tangerine Dream.
Perfect.
Okay,
absolutely perfect.
I thought so. We need some synth, basically.
Pretty much.
All right, cool. Josh?
Yeah, I'll give this a yes. Man, I feel like everyone's being pretty hard on this. I think the messaging is muddled at best, but this is like a movie to me. I go in, I don't know. I know a basic premise. Like, yeah, she has teeth where she shouldn't. But it took me for a ride. I never knew what was happening next. It reached into the vault where only movies like The Room can go in badness in some areas. We never mentioned the grain. Some scenes in this movie were just grainy as hell. And that's not for the better. That kind of sucked. But I don't know. I think we're maybe overthinking this one a little bit. And this is like a pretty funny 3 dicks get cut off sort of movie. So I'll give it a soft, like, you gotta be flaccid for this, yes. Flaccid, yes.
Flaccid attached still or on the ground?
I'd like to hope it's attached for a while yet.
All right, cool. So it leaves me. Yeah, I'm with Josh. This is a lot better than I thought it would be. Again, I don't think it's a great movie or anything like that. And it's not like I don't think that you guys are, what you're saying is not true. I think this could be better, but I actually laughed a few times. I thought she was really good. She did like a big turn from creepy cult-like chastity. I'm not saying chastity clubs in general, but this one is a little bit. So, more power to you. That's cool. But I liked enough of this movie. I probably wouldn't watch it again, but yeah, there was enough there. I'd give it a soft yes to maybe even just a yes. So, yeah, cool. So, for 3 no's and 2 yeses, what kind of food are we talking? Dick sandwich?
What's the piercing called that the brother had? Is that a Prince Albert?
It's something like, Prince Albert's very similar to that, I believe. So I just don't get how that's beneficial to anybody. It looked really uncomfortable. But yeah, Prince Albert, I believe, is what it's called. Named after the Victoria's husband or something? I don't know. But anyway, so do we have any housekeeping to do before we do trivia again? It's going to be short. Pappy, I'm going to need the order.
I got the order ready.
It's just a simple closest to. So I would say the person on the schneid would want to go last, but we can leave that up to them. So why don't you go ahead and tell us the order?
Okay, Brett obviously is the host here with teeth. Mikey kicked off Spooky Spoilers with Upgrade. Then Stevie, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, me, and Josh is on the schneid of those of us here. So Mikey, Stevie, Pappy, Josh.
Josh, you want to go last?
I think so.
All right, so this is do you guys have your phones and calculators? You might want a calculator for this.
Calculator? Oh, God.
It's a math problem.
Who's got the big brain tonight?
Not me. I was going to do a thing about people with iconic teeth, but I just couldn't.
Iconic teeth.
You know, like Austin Powers and like Jaws and stuff like that. So, but it just didn't come together. So, everyone have a calculator or whatever on your phone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so Mikey's up. So you're going to take the number of teeth, average number of teeth for a garden snail, and divide it by the average number of teeth, the usual number of teeth that a human has. And you're going to tell me your answer.
A garden snail. Okay. Should I say my math out loud?
Well, I mean, no. Oh, yeah, sure. If you want.
My guess on the garden snail teeth is 10,000. I'm going to divide that by what I believe humans have 32 teeth. That gives me an answer of 312.5.
Okay, Stevie?
Dude, snails have teeth?
That's for you to decide.
They always seem kind of gummy.
Gummy's the perfect word.
What did Mikey say?
I said 10,000. I'm guessing there are a bunch of little tiny things on his body. On his belly.
What was your final answer?
312.5.
Let's do 350.
So
1,000.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
1,000.
Yeah.
Good.
562.
562. And Josh?
How many teeth these things have?
Give me the question one more time, would you?
The
snail's teeth.
Average number of a garden snail divided by the amount of teeth that a normal human has, adult human.
And Mikey supposed that it has 10,000 teeth?
Well, it doesn't have two, probably. It probably has more than...
Okay, what was Mikey's answer?
312.5.
And Pappy went above that.
And so did Stevie.
So I'll say 312 flat, no 0.5.
Ugh.
Damn.
Because I'm thinking, even if it has 5,000 teeth, that number is going to be so much lower, and that's so many teeth.
You just said 312?
Yeah, with his answer being 312.5, right?
Okay. So, the garden snail, well, actually, the average human has 32 teeth.
Nailed it.
Nice, Mikey.
Yay.
And a garden snail has 14,000 teeth.
Oh.
Jesus fucking Christ.
A total of 437.5.
No.
Stevie is your winner.
I thought Pappy was.
Hey, let's go.
Pappy guessed
I was way off. I thought they had 50,000 teeth.
Oh, I thought you guessed 350. Sorry.
Stevie guessed 350.
My bad, got it mixed up.
Hated my teeth.
Yay.
Teeth guess when he relied so heavily on it for the math.
You were kind of right, though, Mikey. They have teeth like literally all over their tongue.
I was happy Mikey set that high because I was going to do like point something because I thought they didn't have any.
Well, I've seen Zaboomafoo.
Actually, their teeth are stronger than titanium, the material that they are.
That I don't believe. That's a lie.
Jesus.
Why don't we
I don't
make
know where
titanium out of snail's teeth then? What are we doing?
Pretty small.
Yeah.
Actually, and other snails have the most teeth. They can get up to 20,000. But the guard snail, 14,000.
A mere 14,000.
Yep. Okay. Stevie, are you ready to go? Do you need some time?
I think I'm ready to go.
Are we?
Okay, get the spoiler man first.
All right. So
he's ready to go.
No, it's fine. Let's do Spoiler Man first.
Figuring out what movie he's going to do. We're going to kick it to Spoiler Man.
Special thank you to our patrons. Matt Troll.
I'm a virgin.
Brother Brian.
Bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh.
Druid King.
Hardly seems worth it.
Nick.
Do you think this is a good idea?
We're in a group. We'll police each other.
The Meg.
The serpent.
I don't know what it is.
The serpent beguiled me and I ate.
David.
But however you think this was all set in motion,
Nurse Stacy.
it's about your life.
The Wolf.
This is about you.
Barky 420.
But the crown made me think of the cyclostomes.
Davy Kerr.
Because yesterday I was pure.
She shall be called woman because she was taken out of man.
Total Movie Recall.
What about the most precious gift of all? Are you going to give that to the first guy who buys you a big bunch of roses?
No way!
PK.
Purity, yes.
Spencer.
Does this seem irrelevant to all of you? Because it's not.
If you'd like to request an episode, hear your name read by Spoiler Man, or even just help us make podcasts, please check us out on patreon.com/spoilerspodcast. Our email is podcastspoilers@gmail.com. Twitter is @spoilers_pod. Our Instagram is podcast spoilers. It's lit. Josh Hensley from the Rutabaga wrote our theme song. Please support this podcast by leaving us an iTunes review. To do this, 1. Search for movie spoilers. 2. Click on our orange Spoilers Bowl logo and scroll all the way to the bottom. 3. Leave us some stars and some words. Now you can check us out on Spotify, YouTube, Stitcher, Apple, and Google Podcasts. Spoilers is now available on Audible.
And we're back, everybody. For our next spooky spoilers, we're going to kick it to Stevie for his movie pick.
Oh, I gave this one some pretty hard thought, and I'd be remiss if we went all spooky spoilers and never did this movie. I used to be very anti this movie, and I feel like I've grown quite a bit into loving it. I've just recently put it into my top 10 Disney movies of all time.
Disney.
Yep, we're going Disney. And we're going to be talking about Jack the Pumpkin King. We're going to be doing Nightmare Before Christmas.
Hakuya.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
What's this?
Great pick.
I am so excited to do this movie because it's what went into making it is insane. I'm really happy to talk about it. So, yep, Nightmare Before Christmas.
I watched it for the first time 2 years ago, and it was really good.
False Tim Burton movie, right?
It's not a Tim Burton
Not
movie.
a Tim Burton
It's
movie.
not.
All right, so that's a +1 star already.
There we go. Already, we're starting high.
Nice.
Give me 1 second, guys.
Just say that was spoilers.
That was spoilers.
Wait.
Nice.
Why do you guys destroy the format? I don't understand.
Don't look at me.
Deconstructionist.
Remember, Spoiler Man, it's like instantaneous for us because we don't have to play him.
Any letters? Any
No,
fan
we
mail?
had nothing.
Oh. Fans are dead.
Well, yeah, somebody reached out to
We had a
us.
couple Patreon. Yeah, what was the Patreon question that we got, Josh?
What was the big Patreon what question?
He asked how I was doing. I have recovered. Beowulf, thank you. I have recovered from COVID. I still have a little bit left, but I'm doing fine. Thank you for asking.
Beowulf is he's our healthcare physician here at Spoilers Podcast. He was just doing a checkup on Brad.
Yeah. So go ahead, Stevie. I think we're good.
Well, bring us back, bro.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
That was Spoilers.